Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where Vince won't let us have nice things. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to your Battleground preview show. We're going to set the table for this Sunday's pay-per-view, go over all the matches on the card, give you our predictions, let you know what we think will happen on the final pay-per-view before SummerSlam. We'll talk about that huge bombshell of an announcement that Kurt Angle had on Raw. We'll talk about the Mae Young Classic. We'll talk about lots and lots of things today, so let's get right to it. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you need to do is to subscribe and hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, most Thursdays and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. Just search for Lost in the Midcard. We're also on YouTube as well, if you like to subscribe through that. And the links to all that, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. You can get those out of our notes section there. We're also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. And as always, my co-host is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. I'm just seeing, honestly, I'm seeing some breaking news as you were talking. Really big deal for New Japan in the United States right now.
Uh-oh.
New Japan just released a statement. You know how Hot Topic does the Bullet Club gear?
What's that?
You know how Hot Topic has the Bullet Club gear?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's not all. Coming in September, Hot Topic has reached a deal with New Japan, and they're going to start selling T-shirts of the actual New Japan logo, and for the New Japan stable Los Ingobernables. I always have trouble pronouncing that, but it's Naito's stable.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Hot Topic is on the pulse of the pro wrestling community right now. Clearly thrilled with how well the Bullet Club merchandise has been selling, that they're expanding their New Japan stuff. That's really cool. Shout out to Hot Topic, man. That's pretty fucking dope.
And we have more breaking news.
Oh, well, good. I like breaking news. This is the best time. Look, I love when news breaks when we're recording. So this is the best way. Fire it at me. I just fired something at you, and you fire something at me.
It is announced that it was announced earlier in the conference call from Global Force Wrestling. On today's conference call, Jeremy Borash and Grado and Joseph Parks were on the call, and they have announced that they have signed former Lucha Underground star, former WWE star John Hennigan, John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, man of a million names. He's going to debut for Global Force Wrestling August 5th. And so that is coming up very soon. He's going to be at their live events in the Northeast on August 5th. They'll be in Long Island, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and Staten Island. So a big name. Also, Johnny's is it girlfriend or fiance, Matt?
I know they're engaged. I don't think they're married yet.
Taya Valkyrie is also going to be working live events for the company.
That might have been one of the two names when Borash mentioned.
Yep,
two
knockouts.
They signed two knockouts. I bet you she's one of the two.
I bet so as well. We weren't going to cover it, but Johnny Mundo went basically ham on Vampiro on Twitter last night. Basically, at the fact of the circumstances of Taya dropping the AAA championship, not very happy words, were not very nice words were said towards Vampiro. So it does appear that now Taya has signed a deal with Global Force Wrestling, and that's not all. Rumors are swirling around that Rey Mysterio has also signed a deal with.
I have not heard that it's signed. I've heard that the contract is in his hands.
Okay, so there's a deal out there.
I want to make that clear. While the contract is in his hands right now, things can change. Just because the contract's written up and done doesn't mean it's finalized. Remember, Styles, Anderson, and Gallows almost went to TNA a few years ago before they landed in WWE instead. Those contracts were written up and done too. So, look, don't roll out WWE swooping in with a big money offer.
For Rey?
At Rey, to try to get him away from Global Force. I would not doubt that for a second. So
that's some big news there. Big news for Global Force.
Well, they're trying.
Yeah.
Imagine how much more goodwill they'd have if they just let the broken gimmick go and let the rightful owners in Matt and Jeff Hardy have their shit.
Yeah, they need to focus.
Can you imagine? How much better off that company would be right now if they just fucking let that damn thing go?
Yeah, no shit. Another name from Lucha Underground also wrestling the Northeast weekend live events will be Drago. He debuted at Slammiversary with Hijo de Fantasma, or better known on Lucha Underground as King Cuerno. I love the King Cuerno gimmick so much better, but Lucha's not letting that one go apparently. Those are some big names. I mean, I've said my praises of Taya many times. Hell, I didn't even know her and Johnny were together. I mean, shit, I didn't know Johnny and Melina broke up. So,
yep. I'm
not on the love line pulse of the superstars, I guess. How long ago?
Son of a bitch.
I guess I should have called the hotline. Holy balls!
Mean Gene's the man.
Oh my God, Mean Gene took to Twitter on the whole Jason Jordan. Was it the Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle thing?
Yeah.
He goes, was it before it was announced?
It was before it was announced, and he had to scoop it.
And
he had to scoop on the hotline, but he forgot the number.
Holy balls! I forgot the number. So yeah, holy shit! Lots of things just breaking in front of us here. Let's go to the top things we were going to talk about now. Some big news this afternoon. Shane McMahon was involved in a helicopter crash landing earlier this morning in New York. He was a passenger on the chopper. Looks like they had to land in water, make an emergency landing. Vince McMahon was also on the chopper as well. I did not know that until just now. All I had heard is Shane. Of course, Shane did some interviews on the news as well. Everybody's safe and fine, thankfully. So
I didn't hear anything about. Where did you hear that Vince was on it?
ABC New York says a small helicopter carrying the son of WWE. Oh, never mind. The son. I read it wrong. It said the son and CEO Vince McMahon. I read it as the son and also Vince McMahon. So okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hadn't heard anywhere that that Vince was on that helicopter ride.
Yeah. So Shane did interviews with the ABC 7 News in New York. Good to hear that crisis was averted there, and Shane also thanked one of the reporters for ABC 7. Reported that Shane thanked the pilot who handled the emergency landing this morning. So both he and the pilot also were going to speak on the evening news as well. So good stuff there. Now let's go to some not so good stuff. It was announced about a week ago. It's funny timing how they announced this after our last episode, so we couldn't just go at them on our last episode. But Talking Smack has been canceled as a weekly series, according to multiple sources with PW Insider, and then it came true. They will continue after pay-per-view, so there will be a Talking Smack after Battleground. WWE released a statement saying, we continuously review the WWE Network's programming lineup based on a variety of factors, including viewership and subscriber research. Talking Smack and Raw Talk will air following pay-per-view events, and Tuesday will continue to feature 205 Live. And with that, I call bullshit, Matt. Talking Smack was in the top 5 for most on-demand viewed content recently. This is basically Vince not wanting anything unscripted on his network, right?
What a shock.
Fucking ridiculous.
Dude, it never ends with this guy.
No.
It never fucking ends. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get anything mainstream in the year 2017. He's so out of touch in his own little bubble that he doesn't fucking understand anything anymore. It's beyond nauseating at this point that this is the guy that's in charge of the biggest wrestling company in the world. I can't stand it. It drives me fucking crazy. And it's crazy. Like, I keep thinking back on this tweet I saw probably over the weekend from Dave Lagana. He used to work for TNA. I think he's working with Billy Corgan now on the relaunch of the NWA. And he said something. He said a statement that really made me think. And I don't want to misquote him, so I'm trying to look up the exact quote now. But like when I heard it, I was just like, "Wow, that's some powerful shit right there." And like I said, I'm trying to find it. And I will get back to the statement that he said. But it's just, we all love pro wrestling. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm pretty damn sure that you love professional wrestling, and we all want the product to be good. Nobody watches, and nobody dives into the product to the point of listening to podcasts like ours if we don't want wrestling to be the best it can possibly be. But when you have somebody like Vince at this stage in his life, running this freaking program, it sucks. And here we go. I found it, and I'm going to retweet this on Lost in the Midcard so you guys can see it. If you want to retweet it out, you can.
I will say that you did a good job of a filibustering there as you were playing.
Yeah, I was doing my best. And he said, "Do you love pro wrestling because how it makes you feel or how it made you feel?" And I think that's an extremely powerful statement. And you know what? I might be part of the latter. I might love professional wrestling because how it made me feel when I was growing up, to the point where as an adult, the WWE product more often than not doesn't give me, that energetic spark that I used to get when I was younger. Yeah. I still find it sometimes in Ring of Honor or New Japan or something else that I'm watching. And sometimes WWE does manage to give me that moment to make me remember, like, this is why I love this stuff. This is awesome. But it's so far and few between from the way that it used to be. And it's just like, oh, man. It's just like things could be so much better. But until Vince goes away, they're not going to get any better. Mm-mm. And it sucks. It's really disappointing. And I want nothing more than for the product to improve and for, wrestling to hit another awesome boom period. I feel like there's more wrestling to consume in 2017 than there ever was in the history of the sport.
I sure as hell don't have time to get it all in.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't watched
amount of wrestling.
I haven't watched Ring of Honor in forever. I haven't watched Impact in forever because I just realized that they took away Pop from me, so I can't watch that.
Dude, legit. If there's a pay-per-view on a Sunday, you can if you have the right channels, you can watch pro wrestling 7 days a week on your television right now.
Yeah.
7 days a week. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never would have thought about that growing up, that I could watch different pro wrestling shows 7 days a week.
Yep.
And that's really freaking cool. But at the same time, the main company that's, you know, the main brand that everybody knows is the one that everybody looks to. And if WWE would just, you know, become a little bit better, everything would benefit. There's nothing I want more right now than for Triple H to take over the company, for Vince to just go away.
Yeah.
So badly. That's all I'm asking for. And I know it's asking for a lot, but man, I really want them to do that.
Apparently, Renee Young and Daniel Bryan did not get the memo that afternoon that the news broke. Renee Young actually retweeted my good buddy John Canton and said, that's one way to get news. And then about an hour later said, really disappointed about Talking Smack. We tried to make that show great, which it was. Guess I'll go back to welcoming my guests at this time. So you can tell Renee Young was not too happy about it. Daniel Bryan, I come online to support Sammy for Syria and find this out. I'm the GM. No one tells me anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of crap. It's the long and the short of it, it's a bunch of crap.
And Daniel Bryan last night goes, don't worry, folks. Next week after SmackDown Live, Renee Young and I will host a pirate version of Talking Smack on Tout. Hashtag fake news.
I wish it was real news.
I know.
That'd be the first time ever I actually used Tout.
I didn't even know Tout still existed.
Yeah, it's still there.
And, well, this wasn't the only bad news Renee Young got this week. Her WWE Network series Unfiltered also canceled. I always find
and I don't know if that was just something recent or if that was just, you know, Renee just confirming something that happened a while back.
Yeah.
Which really sucks, because I really enjoyed the Unfiltered series too. And I feel if that would have been given like a solid weekly time slot, like some of the other things on the network are given, I think that would have become a really popular show as well. And I think if people would have actually sat down and watched it on the regular, I think there would be a lot of uproar about that being canceled as well.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can pull on-demand figures, I guess, from the network. I guess maybe there's a list or something maybe the network even provides that you can go to. So, yeah, there was proof that Talking Smack was on there. There's no way to track live numbers, but, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Talking Smack was very popular. So, obviously, if you listen to this show, you know it was popular with us. So,
yeah, because it was awesome.
So, finally, we figure out what was going on with Kurt Angle. It turned out that Jason Jordan is the illegitimate child of Kurt Angle. While Kurt was in college, he got a little boom boom, and out came Jason Jordan. And we'll talk about that whole thing here once we get to Raw. But about the storyline, Pro Wrestling Sheet has learned that this is not just going to be a little quickie. This is going to be a central storyline on Raw over the next few months. And they also confirmed, Pro Wrestling Sheet did confirm that Chad Gable will not be switching brands. Sources with direct knowledge tell Pro Wrestling Sheet that Jordan is set for a solid mid-card level push following this reveal. And his relationship with Kurt will grow as the Olympic athlete tries to be a father figure for Jason. And appears that American Alpha is done for good, which means they're not the ones that have been trashing the Fashion Files office. I wonder who that is now.
To me, there's only one option, and it's the two guys we haven't seen on TV for a while in any type of storyline. They're going to put Harper and Rowan back together. And honest to God, at this point, it's the best thing for both of them. Yeah. Because neither of them are doing anything right now. And I think those two guys as a tag team in the very shallow tag team division on SmackDown Live at the moment, I think could to be really cool. And I wouldn't mind the New Day Harper Rowan feud going into SummerSlam. I really hope New Day take the titles off the Usos on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I really hope so. I'm picking New Day to win that match.
Yeah, I think so too. Chad Gable took to Twitter as the news was breaking right at the top of hour 3. What? That was kind of funny. AJ Styles, a lot of people had fun after this. AJ Styles goes, well, I had Matt Jackson when I was 8, and sweet little Nick Jackson 5 years later. Proud dad. As Nick goes, miss you, Dada. And Daniel Bryan, don't worry, son. You'll find out who your real father is next week on SmackDown Live. Oh wait, did I give it away by calling you son? As Daniel Bryan was talking to Chad Gable. Oh, and then Chad Gable posted a picture of something. Or somebody asked him a question. He goes, I don't know. I've been busy catching up with my dad, and he had a Photoshop of him and Kurt Angle on a roller coaster.
Did you see the tweet to Daniel Bryan about Gable?
No.
Oh my God.
A different one other than.
You didn't see Daniel Bryan's response to Gable
on
Twitter Monday night?
I just said it.
Did you?
Yeah.
You saw Daniel Bryan's response.
Yeah, he said, "Don't worry, son." Oh wait, I called you son.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear you say it.
Yeah, I just said it.
All right, fine, whatever. I didn't hear you say it.
Yeah.
My bad, damn it.
Oh, another great one was Scott Dawson retweeted a side-by-side photo of him and Arn Anderson.
The Young Bucks just tweeted New Japan and said, "You're welcome."
It's for
clearly the Hot Topic deal.
Ah.
That's funny.
Some Mae Young Classic stuff that obviously the early parts of the tournament have been taped already. Beth Phoenix was in Orlando for the taping. There's talk that Alundra Blaze might handle some interviews, so she might be on the television portion of that. Shawn Michaels also in town. Trish Stratus might be there, might have been there. Mike and Maria Kanellis were there. They can confirm. Ronda Rousey also was at the Mae Young Classic. So a lot of big names were down for the Classic. How much did they do? Was it just the first round?
No, dude. They taped all the way to the finals.
All the way to the finals? Okay.
Yep.
So so there you go. That'll air. You know when that started airing sometime in August, right? Or are they starting it sooner?
Like the last week of August. So, like they're doing a bracketology right after SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Like right after SummerSlam goes off the air, they're doing bracketology. Then I think it's August 28th. I think I'm pretty sure it's a Monday. They're gonna put 4 episodes on demand that Monday, which will cover the first round. And then they're gonna put another 4 episodes out the following Monday, which will cover the quarters and the semis, and then the finals will be live immediately following SmackDown Live in Vegas on, I think, September 12th, I want to say.
So they're preempting 205 Live that?
Yeah, September 12th. Yeah, so I guess there's no 205 Live that night. And I personally don't care, and we'll be able to get that then, so that'll be pretty cool.
Some more news. These are non-spoilers, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling anything. I know the entire tournament. I'm not spoiling shit.
I know none of it. So, Medusa was doing backstage segments at the taping. Did not appear in front of the crowd. Other guests that appeared included Bayley, Carmella, Charlotte, Tamina, Alicia Fox, Naomi, Nia Jax, Emma, Johnny Gargano, Tozawa, Montez Ford, among others that were around and moved to ringside during different points at the show. Here is a list of the first round matches. Matt, let me know what you think of who your most interesting first round matchup is here.
I can already tell you that without you even laying them off.
Okay.
The easily the most interesting first round matchup is Kairi Sane versus Tessa Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to go on record as saying this was one of the dumbest pairings that they could have put together in the first round. Because to say one of these ladies had to exit after the opening round of this tournament is a tragedy. Neither of these women deserve to go out in the first round, and I'm sure while they probably gave us the best first round match in the of the tournament, this match should not have been in the first round. This match should have been, second or semis or whatever. Like, neither of these girls deserve to have a chance to be out in the first round.
Yeah, exactly. Other first round matchups are Princessa Sujit against Kaylee Ray. Serena Deeb takes on Vanessa Bourne. Shayna Baszler takes on Zeta. Piper Niven takes on Santana Garrett. Mia Yim takes on Sarah Logan. Mercedes Martinez takes on Zia Lee. Rhea Ripley takes on Miranda Salinas. Abby Lath takes on Jazzy Gabbert. Toni Storm takes on Aisha Raymond. Dakota Kai takes on Kavita Devi. Candice LeRae takes on Renee Michelle. That's kind of a nice combo there. Rachel Evers takes on Marty Bell. Bianca Belair takes on Sage Beckett. Lacey Evans takes on Tanara Conti. And Nicole Savoy takes on Reigns Gonzalez. Another matchup there that I think I'm interested in is Mia Yim and Sarah Logan. I bet that's going to be a good match as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
A former Knockouts champion said she almost appeared in the Mae Young Classic. Taylor Wilde of former TNA Knockout said on Twitter that she was considered, but due to an injury sustained in training, she's going to stay in retirement. Well, I don't remember Taylor Wilde too much.
I couldn't stand her. She was one of my least favorite knockouts in TNA when the division was booming. I was so happy to hear that she did not come out of retirement for this tournament. I was just like, oh God, there was even a chance of that happening. Was pretty much my response when I heard it. So yeah, I'm no offense. I was never a fan, and I was very happy to hear that she didn't end up being a part of this tournament.
On the heels that we said earlier, 2 knockouts were signed to the company. That is mainly because earlier this week, Gail Kim announced on Impact Wrestling that she's going to retire due to injuries at the end of 2017. She plans on wrestling throughout the year, kind of a farewell tour. Also, later in the week, it was announced that she will stay on and become an agent with the company. Gail Kim, probably one of the best knockouts in a company's history, 6-time knockout champion. Also, one-time knockout tag champion with Madison Rayne back when they had that title for a short time. 2016 Hall of Fame for TNA as well. She also held the WWE Women's title one time before they went to the Divas Championship. And Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked her number 1 among the top 50 wrestlers in 2012. So definitely one of the best women wrestlers of this generation. Matt, you agree?
I mean, she did it all. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy at this point. She might be one of the most decorated women professional wrestlers of all time. And I really don't know if there was anything left for her to do in this business. I know she's going to be, they're going to actually, Impact's going to keep her on past her retirement in like an agent role, which is cool. So that's nice. At least they're not going to like throw her to the curb like they've thrown so many people to the curb lately.
Dummy, yeah.
Yeah, well, let's hope they don't do that to him, too.
Yeah.
Well, they certainly thrown his push to the curb. I love Gail. I've always loved Gail. I've met her a couple times. She's super nice. She's excellent in the ring. She was definitely ahead of her time in WWE. Because if she would have been there, like, in the last couple years, she could have been having some great stuff.
Yeah.
And just unfortunately, the timelines didn't cross properly, and we're never gonna get to see like Gail Kim versus Sasha Banks or Gail Kim against Charlotte and stuff like that. And those would have been some really great matches that we're just unfortunately never gonna get to see.
Yeah, and it's probably deserved to be more than a one-time champion, but she really, I mean, that was a real early part of her career and wasn't quite fleshed out yet, but still impressive in her time in the WWE. So,
yeah, she won it on her first night.
Yeah,
in like a battle royal. So,
all across the board, pro wrestling ratings have gone up. So, Impact seeing a big spike of 374,000 viewers, which is their highest number of the year. Actually, the second straight week they've hit the highest number of the year, as last week they did 345,000, which was their previous high mark of 2017. If they are able to land John Morrison and Rey Mysterio, that might bump them back up to the 400 mark even. Raw saw a slight increase up to 3.15 million, up from just a hair over 3 million the week before. Pretty solid throughout. No sharp drop-offs. All 3 hours over 3 million. SmackDown Live also saw an increase up to 2.54 million, up nearly 800,000 from the previous week. Austin Aries took to Twitter and released a statement, his first statement since his departure from WWE. He said, "I'd like to thank the WWE for the opportunity to perform for the amazing fans of the WWE Universe. I'd also like to thank the extremely talented and hard-working people of the WWE whom I had the pleasure to work with, both in front of and behind the camera. I wish them continued health, happiness, and success as I move on to new endeavors." And apparently, those new endeavors include him shaving his head completely and looking like Pitbull.
He totally looks like Pitbull.
Wow. Yeah, he put on Twitter,
dude, he was almost unrecognizable.
He looks weird.
Yeah, like, seriously.
No facial hair, no hair.
You know, no hair's fine. The facial hair is what got me.
Yeah, it looks
like
weird.
Like, he looks really weird without any facial hair whatsoever. I really hope he grows it back. Like, if you want to be bald, that's cool. Like, I don't have an issue with it. But looking at him with no facial hair on top of it, he looks like a really weird version of Pitbull, and it's kind of fucking creepy.
That's his first gimmick when he returns to Impact Wrestling. Someone was not happy at Monday Night Raw this past week. It was Emma. She put on Twitter, "Sitting backstage at Raw on my 5-year anniversary at the WWE. Happy anniversary to me." Apparently not happy that she's not being used in any capacity, and Summer Rae retweeted it as well, showing her support.
I couldn't believe she had the gall or the guts, or I don't want to say balls for a lady. But I can't believe she had the guts to tweet that out.
Yeah,
I'm really curious if she's just ready to move on. Yeah,
how is that going to help you?
To me, it's like, are you ready to move on, or is this a part of a bigger storyline? I know they had Emma go out to Dana Brooke before the recent pay-per-view and drag her away because there's something she wanted to talk to her about.
Yeah, on the kickoff show.
Yeah, like, is that going somewhere? Is there going to be something involved with those two down the line? I really don't know, where they're going with this. I'm hoping the tweet was storyline related and not her really, legit shooting. Because if she was legit shooting, maybe we won't have much Emma left on our WWE radar for the rest of 2017.
Yeah. Triple H took to Twitter after the closing of what we got so far from the Mae Young Classic, and said, "For all the work you do and all the time spent preparing for the future of our industry, we say thank you." As he was talking to Sarah Del Rey. On stage, he presented her with flowers and gave her a big hug there. And you can see in the background what appears to be the trophy that they'll be giving away to the winner of the Mae Young Classic. So
yeah, that was done right before they recorded the semis.
Okay, cool.
I'm hoping that will be aired. I'm hoping they air it.
That was a cool moment.
But if they do air it air it and they air it within the timeline that it was recorded, that will be aired right before the semis happen. So maybe a whole episode is that ceremony and the 2 semis matches will take up one episode, which I think that'd be pretty cool. So I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I would hope it would be.
Yeah.
So
I hope it's shown. Maryland Championship Wrestling's Dan McDevitt posted the following. Usually the Shamrock Cup is special. Last night it was not. It didn't end the way it was supposed to, with our fans having a chance to say goodbye to one of our own homegrown talents. We wanted to give the fans that chance, so we were able to get something worked out, and we are adding Saturday, August 12th to the schedule. Final hour. It's going to be Leo Rush's last match for the Independents, so that's pretty cool. They probably weren't able to get him in for the Shamrock Cup, but are able to have him wrestle his final independent match in Maryland. So that's really cool. Before most likely heading to NXT.
Yeah, I don't even know what he meant, because I haven't been following MCW as closely as I should be. But I'm happy to hear Leo Rush is going to get to do his final indie match in the place where he pretty much started. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he was just saying the fact that the Shamrock Cup should have had Leo Rush there, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what he meant or not. That's why I'm not sure.
He said that info will be up in the next 48 hours. So, and this came out on Sunday, so the info might be up now. He said it's going to be Fan Appreciation Night, $10 general admission tickets to say goodbye to Leo Rush. So, you think you might be making your way out for that, Matt?
I'll reach out to Lost in the Midcard guest Daryl, see if he wants to head on up and see Leo Rush's last MCW match. If he does, I'll go. If he doesn't, I'll probably skip it. I hate going to wrestling events by myself.
Yeah. Oh, you can fly me in.
yeah. Let me get right on that.
World Association of Wrestling, which is owned by Page's family, they announced that they have stripped Alberto El Patron of the WAW Championship. That's kind of interesting, huh, Matt?
And they awarded it to Page. I'm just kidding.
No, they're doing a 32-man tournament.
I know.
Yes,
I know battery isn't funny, but I saw a joke and I took it. I'm sorry.
And new
Page whooped his ass.
So it has been quiet, sort of, on the Page and Alberto front. Actually, they were shown together at a soccer game earlier in the week. But it had been quiet until today. Dave Shearer of PW Insider says that the Orlando, Florida Police Department sent PW Insider the following statement in their request for a police report. And they stated that the report is not available because it is still an open investigation. But what I can tell you is that OPD detectives have found that probable cause that exists to charge Soraya Bevis with battery. Detectives have sent the information to the state attorney's office for review, and the SAO will determine whether to file charges on the case. So, very interesting. And I also read an interview or an article. Not sure how solid the rumor is, but there was a discussion of why Page is still with the WWE, and they are saying that the sole fact of it is the movie, and they don't want that promotion going elsewhere when it's time for the movie to be released, because there's some big names in the movie. The Rock is an executive producer. The Rock also shows in the movie as himself. And that's the feeling around that the WWE is keeping Page around for that fact. Matt, do you buy that?
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely buy that.
Dummy! Yeah!
It's all about WWE and their synergy. And the last thing they want to do is take an opportunity that The Rock provided them with to get mainstream attention, and that talent to not be with the company when the movie comes out. So, yeah, I definitely buy that. And I believe Paige is one of those people that when her contract is up, it will not be renewed and she'll be as good as gone from WWE. But who knows how much longer she has on her contract, and with how long she's been out injured, if her contract is currently frozen right now due to how long she's been out injured. So,
yeah,
who knows?
Maybe she will be the WEW champion.
But
G1 Climax has gotten underway. We had our A-Block matches just the other day. Yoshihashi defeated Nagata. Bad Luck Fale defeated Maccabi. Hiroki Goto defeated Ishii. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Tanahashi. I think that was a upset, and I heard it was a very phenomenal match as well. And Naito defeated Ibushi, and so that's Block B kicked off. I think today, or I think it's gonna probably happen while we're sleeping here in the United States. So
yeah.
So we will give you an update on the G1 Climax next week, or actually we may sneak it in on our Battleground post show as well. But wow, some upsets there, Matt. For one, I thought we were looking at Ibushi and Kenny Omega in the finals, so I was a little surprised that Naito beat him. But I'm very surprised that Zack Sabre Jr. beat Tanahashi, aren't you?
You do realize the way the G1 works, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like a single elimination tournament.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Like, dude, these early days mean absolutely nothing. I don't want to say absolutely nothing. You're getting some great matches early, but the real story of who you're going to see in the finals will be told much later in this tournament. Just because you're seeing that stuff now, if you had favorites early and you're second guessing yourself, I wouldn't pull that away right now. It's very early in the G1. Anything could still happen.
But you're not surprised at
no, I'm really not, because this is what the G1 does. Upsets happen in the G1. This is, to me, this isn't surprising at all.
Cool. And so, yeah, we'll update you on Block B here on Monday's episode as we break down Battleground. Raw was in Nashville, Tennessee on Monday, so was Global Force Wrestling. So a bunch of old friends and maybe new acquaintances got together, and a couple of pictures were posted on Twitter. Conan posted one with R-Truth and an unmasked Rey Mysterio, who kind of looks like Pitbull as well. And James Storm and Bray Wyatt hanging out. How about that? That would be a couple of guys I'd have a beer with right there.
Hey, why'd you steal my gimmick, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I didn't want to do it.
Sorry.
Idiots and creative made me.
Sorry about your damn buzzards.
Oh.
Yeah, the Revolution. We were talking about Impact on a weekly basis once when that was going on, and yeah, there's a lot of moans and groans from Matt about that whole gimmick, right?
It was terrible, dude.
Yeah, it was.
James Storm belongs as being what he is right now.
Beer drinking son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's what James Storm is. Anytime they try to change who James Storm is, it pisses me off. James Storm doesn't need to be anybody other than what he is. And when you try to fuck with his character, it shows, because he doesn't play the character. You don't believe the other characters that he's trying to play.
No,
it doesn't come across as genuine.
And it didn't help that the group they put together made zero sense. I mean, Sonata, Manic.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like that. I didn't like the other gimmick, like with the masks and the ties.
Oh,
with Kingston and Bram. I don't even remember what the fuck they were called.
I never got it.
Or some shit like that.
DCC. I never got into that.
I didn't like that either. Just let James Storm be James Storm. If there's one damn thing Jeff Jarrett's done right, since coming back to this company, is letting James Storm be James Storm. So.
And that was one hell of a strap match he had with EC3 at Slammiversary too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Conan hanging out with Rey Mysterio. in Nashville. And yes, Mysterio met with Global Force Wrestling officials earlier in the day to negotiate a deal, as we said earlier. So he does have the contract in his hands.
Did you hear Jarrett showed up at Jeff Hardy's music party Monday night?
Really?
And that he purposely waited to show up until after Matt Hardy left?
Really?
And that he asked if he could come, and everybody ignored him, and he just decided to show up anyway. Like, fucking hilarious.
What a dude.
Jeff fucking Jarrett. Such a fucking mark.
No kidding.
You know, I bet you Matt would have been there when Jeff showed up, we would have had a lawsuit. Because I think Matt might have been charged with battery. And it would have been delightful.
Yeah. Some interesting news broke late this afternoon from Dave Scherer at PW Insider. Doing some digging, he noticed that Brock Lesnar has re-entered the USADA testing protocol, so his suspension for his positive drug test from last year can expire before his WWE contract does next year. It could mean that Brock is looking to have the UFC and WWE bang their heads and throw money at him like he did last time he was a free agent, or he may be returning to the Octagon. I think it's to get WWE to throw more money at him, Matt. What do you think?
Well, I want to provide an update from MMAfighting.com,
All right.
who reported probably within the last half hour. It says the talk of a Brock Lesnar UFC comeback in Coolidge Jets. Lesnar has not re-entered the USADA drug testing poll, which would pave a way for the Octagon return. UFC Vice President of Athlete Health and Performance, Jeff Nowitzki, confirmed with MMA Fighting on Wednesday. The news was first published by MMA Junkie after multiple outlets reported Wednesday that Lesnar had re-entered the poll and was eyeing a comeback. Lesnar's one-year doping suspension is frozen until he does re-enter the poll, if he ever returns to the poll, via a written notice to the UFC and the USADA saying that he is out of retirement. Lesnar would still have more than 6 months remaining on his suspension, Nowitzki said. So even if he re-entered the poll this week, Lesnar would not be able to fight again until 2018. Lesnar formally retired from the UFC and left the testing poll over the winter. If he ever re-entered the program, he'd have to serve the duration of the suspension before he'd be able to compete, Nowitzki said. So as of right now, if you want to believe UFC, Brock Lesnar has not re-entered the USADA drug testing poll as of this time. So,
do you want to believe the UFC?
I don't know. But there's two sides to every story, and I want to report on both sides. And I just want to go out on the record that the UFC is stating that he has not re-entered the poll. So the USADA did not respond to MMA Fighting's inquiry about the matter on Wednesday. So this is a story in progress. And honest to God, at this point in time, let me be the first to say good riddance, Brock Lesnar. I hope you drop the title at SummerSlam. And I hope you lose every match on the way out the door between then and WrestleMania. I'm sick of the part-time champion. And I'm sick of what it represents with this company. And see you later, Beast. Bye-bye. Go back to the UFC and pump your steroids and do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care. I'm absolutely done caring about Brock Lesnar. The novelty of him returning in 2012 has faded off for me, and he can ride off into the sunset for all I give a shit.
Tell us how you really feel, Matt.
You know what? I've just had it, dude. I've had, part timers are fine by me when they're not holding championships.
Yeah.
But when you're fucking holding championships for months at a time, especially when it's the main title of a show and the other guys have nothing to fight for, you know what? I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I know WWE allows it to happen, so I put just as much blame on Vince and the WWE as I do the performer. And yeah, I just want it done. I hope Lesnar drops the title at SummerSlam in what looks to be like a fatal four-way. I don't even give a fuck if he's the one that gets pinned. I don't give a shit. Just you know what? Even if they put the fucking title on Roman Reigns, just as long as they get the title off Brock Lesnar, I'll be happy with SummerSlam as long as that title is off of Brock by the time that's over.
Yeah, I fully agree. One final piece of news, a new television show that we won't watch. It's going to be called GFW After Impact with Josh Matthews and Tyrus. It's going to be on ImpactWrestling.com.
No one cares.
Like I said, a show we won't watch. NXT, I did not watch because, I was taking a nap. I was tired. But NXT kicks off with Ember Moon and Ruby Riott. And was this for the winner goes on to face Asuka or just a match?
I feel like they implied it, but I don't think they confirmed it.
They didn't really push it.
But I believe it was. I believe it was winner faces Asuka and Brooklyn type of deal.
What did you think of that? What did you think of the opening match there?
It was a good match. It was exactly what I expected from these two. In the time frame that they were allotted, I thought it was a good, solid match.
Crowd still into Ruby Riott quite a bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's still hot. She's still hot down there.
She's gotten over.
Yeah.
They announced that Hideo Itami will take on Cassius Ohno next week. Cassius Ohno's interviewed, and Itami enters and asks about the match. And Cassius says he wanted to take action. He made the match. He was tired of Itami talking, and Itami yells some Japanese at "Oh no!" and kicks some inanimate objects.
Yeah, this wasn't like a typical backstage interview. This was like an earlier today segment type shot where Itami confronted him about it. It was done well. I'm looking forward to this match, and I really hope this is a feud that isn't one and done on NXT TV. Like I want to see, even though this match wasn't confirmed via the tapings, I really hope we're getting Ohno and Itami in Brooklyn. Like I feel both of those guys deserve a pay-per-view card spot, and I think the two of those guys could, if given the proper time, could really tear the house down in Brooklyn next month.
Video package for a new tag team coming in, Street Profits with Montez and Angelo Dawkins. I'm looking forward to this tag team. Hopefully this is the thing that gets Angelo sticking with the NXT roster. He's got a lot of talent. So, how about the? I bet this match was a little hard hitting, Matt. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Yeah, Burch was bloody by the time it was over. So I don't know if Oney broke his nose too or what, but it was definitely a hard hitting affair, and they pretty much implied at the end of the match that Burch wanted another shot, and it seemed like Oney was down with it. So these two might be fighting again down the line soon.
Yep, that's what the report here says, and Lorcan was all okay with that. Lorcan got the win with a single Boston Crab to make Burch tap out. Killian Dane outside the building as he's getting ready for his match in the main event against Drew McIntyre. Next matchup is No Way Jose against the Brazilian blue chipper Cesar Bononi. Looked like a quick match here for No Way Jose. What did you see out of that one?
It was a pain by numbers No Way Jose match. It was fine. It was fine for what it was. It was fine.
After the match, Almas is yelled at by his female friend at ringside, which is Thea Trinidad. I can't remember what she's going. Is Zolita something?
Like oh man, I forget.
Zolita something.
Zolita something. Like Zolita Vega or something like that. Like I think Vega's the last name. Somebody made a Savio Vega joke.
Oh, so Zolita Vega. Okay.
Yeah, it's something like that.
And he attacks Bononi, and Almas gestures to Jose, and Jose runs to the ring, but Almas goes to the floor and shows he is too tranquilo for Jose. I'm impressed. I haven't seen this match yet. I'll probably watch NXT here tomorrow, but you think Bononi can maybe put it together eventually? Did he look okay here?
He looked fine.
Yeah,
Like he doesn't do anything for me. So
well, there's nothing for him yet. I mean,
yeah,
he's just a jobber right now.
We'll see where it goes in the future. But there's some guys that come out in the jobber format, and I see and I'm like, wow, this guy's gonna be something.
Yeah,
he's got like the star quality about him, and this guy just doesn't stand out to me at this point. Doesn't mean that he won't in the future, but right now he doesn't do anything for me right now.
And what did you think of the main event? Drew McIntyre, Killian Dane.
Dude, fucking crazy. The finish of the match was nuts. Because the match was hard hitting as shit anyway. But freaking, like, the finish of the match, McIntyre hits the Future Shock DDT. Killian Dane kicks out at 1. Like, the 1 count. He kicks out. And he starts smacking himself in the face. And Drew's like, what the fuck? So Drew goes to the corner and hits him with the Claymore.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately Killian sits up again and starts smacking himself in the face. So Drew's like, fuck this. And before Killian could stand up, hit him with another Claymore when he was sitting there and got the win. But yeah, it was a sick finish. It was really good. They worked really well together. And Drew told Rude by no uncertain terms that he was coming for the bloody championship.
Very cool.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing McIntyre and Rude and possibly Roderick Strong in a triple threat at NXT Brooklyn next month.
I would bet the dollars to the donuts that we're going to get that.
What, the triple threat or the main event?
Triple threat.
I hope we do. I will feel really bummed for Roddy if he gets left off of this show.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, canceling Talking Smack didn't make sense to me either. So
yeah, well, Triple H runs the ship down in NXT, and things tend to make more sense down there than they do in WWE. So I like to hope that it's going to.
Live from Nashville, Tennessee, it is episode number 1258 for Monday Night Raw. They showed the opening video package of the Kurt Angle Secret. Dean Ambrose comes out to start the show with a steel chair in hand. Cuts a little promo. Said he's ready for a fight, and Rollins shows up. And Ambrose reiterates the fact that he doesn't want Rollins' help, but Rollins says, "This is my fight now." He told Rollins, though, to leave and fight his own battle, but Rollins said Miz involved him when The Miz and the Miztourage attacked him last week. And Rollins asks Ambrose, "Brother, will you be standing in my way or standing by my side?" Crowd going nuts, hoping for the Shield reunion. Ambrose hated the brother comment. He then mentioned all the stuff that Rollins did back in the end of the Shield. Rollins yells, "That shit was 3 years ago. I'm sorry. And Rollins said he's moved on, so he asks Ambrose, what will it take for him to move on? Rollins told Ambrose that he's going to let his actions speak for him. He turned his back on Ambrose, put up the Jesus pose so that everybody that calls him CrossFit Jesus went nuts, like myself. Asked Ambrose to hit him with the chair. Do it as many times as you like. Ambrose didn't do it. Tossed a chair out of the ring. And then The Miz came out with the Miztourage. And basically talking back and forth with the gentlemen. The heels surrounded Ambrose and Rollins. Miz attacks Ambrose with the chair outside the ring. One last shot for good measure. Hit the skull crushing finale on Rollins on the chair. And the Miztourage leaving the ring, doing some dirty work in a fairly lengthy opening segment to kick off Raw. Matt, what did you think of this opening segment?
I thought it was fine. I feel like this is leading to a triple threat with Dean, Rollins, and Miz at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental Championship, which I'm fine with. The one that I too. Like, I really don't want to see. I don't want to see the Shield get back together.
Not for this.
Yeah, not especially for this. I don't know. I thought the segment was fine.
Funny how the marks were chanting
I
for
wasn't
Roman.
in any way blown away by it.
Funny how those marks were chanting for Roman when Rollins and Ambrose were getting beat down, huh?
Well, because they were filled with Shield nostalgia.
Marks.
But dude,
Yeah.
But you know what? Look, Vince. Hey, old man. Hey, dumbass. You want to get Roman over?
Yeah.
You have opportunities to do that with this. Even if it's a side storyline that, like, while he's still doing his main thing,
not an official reunion.
Yes, exactly. If you would have had him come out and save Rollins and Dean from the Miztourage, they would have fucking they would have popped. It would have given Roman some goodwill that he so desperately needs right now. If you wish him to be, the good guy that you continue to push him as. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Did you still get the feeling that they're still trying to push him as a good guy this week?
Yeah. I did.
Just asking. We got Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Pretty decent 9-minute match. And hey, look at this, Matt. Bayley wins again and pins the champion. What the hell is going on in the women's division?
I don't freaking know.
The announce team on camera, and then unprofessional Corey Graves gets up and goes to the back again. They showed highlights of the ESPYs that I didn't watch. Several WWE stars in attendance: John Cena, Nikki Bella, Miz Maurice. Cena also presented an award to Jarius Robertson for his perseverance and never giving up. And they showed Stephanie McMahon on winning an award for her humanitarian work while mentioning Connor's cure. And everybody was going nuts because a lot of people like myself thought she was the one that was talking to Kurt Angle. Angle was in the office with Corey. Yeah, I know. Angle in the office with Corey Graves. Angle said that maybe this isn't something that should be televised. And Graves says, we live in an age of social media, and this is gonna get out. So his reputation would go down the drain if it was reported by anybody else. Graves told Angle he has nothing to be ashamed of. Angle said Graves is right, and that his friendship means so much to the both of us. Titus O'Neil is in the locker room with his Titus Worldwide guys firing up Tozawa and Apollo when Arya Daivari showed up and got in Tozawa's face and challenged him to a match.
I still can't figure out this group if Titus is supposed to be a good guy or a bad guy.
I think they suddenly were a face. I think they went to a face when they brought in Tozawa. When Tozawa bought in to the worldwide thing, which we'll get to that a little later because there's a little crack in that one. But and then you had him challenge Strowman. Had Apollo challenge Strowman, and Titus kind of stood up for him and took the punch at the end. And I think they kind of subtly shifted to a face, which is, for me, I think that's a much better place for this Titus Worldwide thing.
I feel like the group can work more as a face. It's just they continue to do conflicting things with Titus that I can't decide what they're trying to portray him as.
Yeah, kind of like the throwing in the towel thing.
Well, to throw it in the towel thing, and asking Apollo to work against Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
You're playing off like trying to be a good guy, but you're doing heelish things to your clients. So yeah. I'm just like, what is he trying to be? What is this group supposed to be? You need to give a better understanding to the viewer, because if I'm confused, I guarantee you the average viewer has no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is, I think he's trying to make that big splash with Titus Worldwide. So Big splash. Oh, if Apollo beat Braun Strowman, that's a big splash for Titus Worldwide. Oh, I think Tozawa can beat Neville. So while Mustafa Ali is going to town on his shoulder that was injured last week, I'm throwing in the towel. I think he's like looking at these big splashes that he could do with the company or with his brand or whatever, and that's kind of how I'm perceiving it as. But it did take an interesting turn with the throwing in the towel. We'll get to that here once we get to that. We had a 205 live tag match that went all at 2 minutes. Mustafa Ali, Jack Gallagher, Brian Kendrick, Drew Gulak, a mixture of two feuds in 205 live. Tagged to Mustafa Ali, hit the inverted 450, and that was it. Wow. Okay. That was weird. Enzo Amore comes out, does his usual promo to the ring, talks about how no man can elicit a reaction on the microphone like he does. He says you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but you always fight what you believe in. And he honestly believed that Cass believed in what they were fighting for. He said 5 years he had a reckless, abandoned attitude that allowed Cass to pick up at their opponents because he wanted to win. Allowed Cass to pick him up and throw him at his opponents because he wanted to win that bad. But he noted that Cass being 7 foot tall didn't win them any championships. Enzo spoke about how Cass threw him over 14 feet to the ground at Great Balls of Fire. Cass didn't throw Enzo out of his life. Enzo said if he gets knocked down 9 times, he's getting up 10, and bragged about how he made it back to the ring to finish the fight. They showed a replay of Big Show brawling with Big Cass, and Enzo said that he brought the fight to Cass at Great Balls of Fire. But with what happened with the Big Show, Cass folded like a lawn chair. And Enzo said that he wouldn't have tried to roll out of the ring. He would have fought. And there's only one word to describe Cass, and I'm sure you guys know how to spell that out by now. Cass makes his entrance with his great new theme music, right, Matt?
It sounded like it was improved over what they originally had him coming out with. It's still not great, but it definitely sounded better than the initial
I'll have to try to compare.
Track.
I didn't realize it was tweaked.
No, it's definitely different than the initial track at the pay-per-view.
The fans chanted Castle, and Cass said Enzo didn't learn his lesson at Great Balls of Fire, so Cass is going to beat some sense into him now, and hopefully Enzo shuts his mouth. Enzo says that he is smarter than the average bear, and left the ring. Enzo says he loves a fight in Music City, jumped over the barricade, put a kid on his lap, and said he's ready to watch a fight. And Big Show made his way to the ring. But in this fight, Cass got the upper hand and mounted Big Show with some punches, actually busted Show open a little bit, kicked Show in the ribs. Enzo went into the ring to kind of help out the Big Show, but Cass got him with a boot, and then Cass leaves to end the segment there. Basically, a little revenge for Big Show going apeshit on him the week before.
Isn't bad? My favorite thing about Big Cass right now is the giant Tron behind him that says Big Cass, and when his head gets in the way, it looks like it just says Big Ass.
Big.
I'll
have to look out for that.
Honestly, that's like the only thing of Big Cass right now that's actually entertaining to me.
I'm sure.
I just don't care about him right now.
I'm sure that's Vince's sneaky way of producing. I'm sure Vince.
Have you not seen that image yet?
No.
Oh my God! All right, I'll try to find it. If I can find it, I'll send you a DM.
What did you think about Enzo?
Dude, if he was freaking if that dude was like 6'5" and like 250 pounds, that dude would be the WWE champion.
Yeah.
Because there's hardly anybody in the business right now that can cut a better promo than him. So
it sounds like they've opened. Well, I mean, they're getting primetime slots on Raw now. I mean, opening Raw, closing Raw. This was the top of hour 2, so you know that we all know that the top of the hours are big segments. They're getting prime time real estate on Monday Night Raw, and I honestly think Enzo's been delivering. And I agree with you. He'd be a WWE champion if he was a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
I think he could be an Intercontinental champion someday. Not a multi-time, not a permanent or anything. 205 Live would need him, especially if they're continuing to have it after SmackDown in the big arenas. 205 Live needs somebody like Enzo Amore, especially after they lost probably their biggest star power with Austin Aries.
That would work.
Matt, who wants to walk with Elias?
Nobody.
I do. Shut up. Balor makes his entrance to interrupt the song again. And we get ourselves Finn Balor, Elias Samson. Went about 5 minutes before Samson clocked Balor with the guitar to DQ himself. So I guess that's not over yet. Maybe it'll be over next week as they announce that there will be a no DQ match between Balor and Elias Samson. I guess, did Balor legit mess up on the guitar shot? To cut.
Who knows who fucked up? All we know at the end of the day, Balor got busted open because of it. Clearly it didn't look like a good guitar shot. And you don't know if it was Elias's fault or if it was Balor's fault or if it was a mix of both. And clearly it didn't go right, and clearly Balor got his head cracked open because of it.
Yeah, but I don't think Balor took too many guitar shots in New Japan, so.
Fucking Jeff Jarrett.
Slap nuts. Bray Wyatt is on the screen laughing at Balor after he was tended to by officials, and Wyatt's basically cut a promo, which basically I think is setting up a SummerSlam match here.
Yeah, which we called last week on the show.
Yep. I called that Wyatt was going to interfere in this match because it didn't make sense to have the match again, but I was close.
Well, now they're having a no DQ match next week, so Wyatt's interfering then.
Yep. Angle is on the phone backstage, says he's ready to do this. Bayley and Sasha Banks walk up to talk about how they both deserve a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. Bayley talking about how he has beat Bliss, how Bayley pointed out that Banks beat Bliss by countout, and Bayley has pinned her the last 2 weeks. Who are you going to pick? Angle says, you guys are going to decide it for yourself next week. Sasha Banks, Bayley, winner gets a shot at Bliss at SummerSlam. God, I hope they give them 12 minutes at least, so they can at least get a little more momentum on the women's side of things, because creatively, the booking, creatively overall, the women on Raw, it's been shit compared to SmackDown. So
all we can do is hope that they continue to try to improve.
Now that we probably are pretty well sure that there's not going to be a fatal four-way for the women, it sounds like they're going to pair Nia Jax with Alexa Bliss for the time being, known as Team Rude. Who do you think wins this next week? Do you think Bayley, Sasha Banks? Do you think Nia Jax screws it up and it's triple threat? I don't know, man. I mean, Bayley's all of a sudden put a rocket up her butt in last 2 weeks.
2 weeks of wins doesn't mean she gets to headline the women's division for SummerSlam. If you're going with only one winner here, I'm putting Sasha over. If you're going for a triple threat, just have it end in a no contest with Bliss and Jax coming out, wiping them both out. But
you'd be all right. You'd be all right with. I mean, that's
as
gonna be a card full of.
As long as Nia Jax isn't involved, I don't freaking care.
I mean, we're basically booking a card full of triple threats and fatal four ways right now.
Well, when you're doing a co-branded pay-per-view and you're trying to get all the freaking feuds from both shows on the show, you don't have much of a choice but to book some multi-man matches. I like multi-man matches. I don't have a problem with them. I know some people don't dig, the multi-man stuff, but I don't have a problem with them. If you want to get the people on TV, sometimes you do what you got to do. So if you want Bayley on the show, you just do it like that. Like, I don't have Bayley beat Sasha next week. I sure as fuck don't do that. Bayley's been scorched earth so bad lately. like 2 wins and all, like, and then you ever beat Sasha and you ever headline SummerSlam. Fuck that. Like, there's no way I do that. Like, Bayley's got a lot more repair to be done to her before I even think about going in that direction.
The Revival are interviewed by Charlie Caruso, and Dash said the Hardys acted like they didn't know who they were. Who the fuck's the Revival?
Fuck
the Revival. They ended it with their catchphrase, "Top guys out." Akira Tozawa took on Arya Daivari, and as I said, ref stoppage 3 minutes into it as basically O'Neil threw in the towel when Daivari was going to town on the injured shoulder of Tozawa. Tozawa not happy with O'Neil, saying that he never quits. And so it'll be interesting to see what is going on there. It is now time for the Angle announcement. He makes his way down to the ring, encourages the "you suck" chants as he always does. Says he's a bit nervous. He's apologized for being a distraction over the last couple of months, and said that as a child he was always taught that every action had a consequence, good or bad. Angle spoke about an action from his past that has a serious consequence because it changed his life. He says that his family is 100% supportive of this, as is the WWE, and hopes that the fans are as well. Angle said that while he was in college at Clarion University, he dated a lady there, and 9 months after their last date, she gave birth to a baby boy. He was unaware of the pregnancy and the birth, and spoke about how the boy was put up for adoption, and his new family taught him great values. Angle spoke about how in high school he was a 3-sport athlete, drafted in baseball, but instead went to college and excelled in wrestling. Angle said that the son decided to pursue his dream of becoming a WWE superstar, and he says that he is now the newest member of Monday Night Raw, Jason Jordan. Jordan makes his entrance to the American Alpha theme music, gives Angle a big hug. The crowd cheered. Nice little pop, not a gigantic pop. Angle raised his hand. They hugged again. And Graves mentioned how he has known Jordan since the beginning in NXT. There you go. Matt, wow. Didn't see that one coming. I could have sworn it would have been Stephanie McMahon, and then Eric Bischoff was making me think somehow there was something with Dixie. I said last week I didn't feel like it was an illegitimate child thing because we've been down that road and it was horribly wrong. Well, obviously, if Ken Kennedy didn't get fired, it might have been horribly awesome. Or not horribly awesome.
It could have worked out a lot better.
Yeah, it would have probably led to an epic feud with Mr. Kennedy and Triple H. But I know there's people hating on this. I'm not one of them because, one, I love Jason Jordan. Two, it's kind of believable. Obviously, this is kayfabe, but it's believable. Three, we're pushing a new talent in the company now, and maybe pushing 2 new talents because Chad Gable. You never know. Maybe Chad Gable's the one to take the title off the U.S. title off of AJ eventually. You never know. So this may have made 2 stars bigger. Sucks to see that American Alpha is breaking up. In the age of tag team wrestling kind of teetering after it always seems like there's a boom and a bust. It never seems to have a solid footing. So I think the tag division on SmackDown could still survive, but it's always bad when you kind of lose depth there, though. But I think overall, I like it. I want to see where it goes. Matt, what were your thoughts on Jason Jordan being the guy?
It is what it is, man. For this point, let's just wait and see where it goes.
Yeah. Well, apparently, according to the Pro Wrestling Sheet Report, this is going to be a lengthy thing. The sit-down interview after Raw Kurt kind of reiterated there's no preferential treatment. He's going to be there for his son, but he's not going to. He's going to have to earn his way. I mean, you believe it? 'Cause, I mean, Angle's actions as a GM have spoken ever since he took over the job. That he's not given any handouts. So I think you can believe that statement there for sure. Did you watch the sit down after Raw?
Yeah, but I didn't.
Wasn't that long, so there wasn't really much to take out of it. I thought Jason did good in his role there. So I did see a picture of them two. I think when Angle was raising his hand in the ring, they both had like the same expression on their face. You could almost see that they look like each other there. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, man. I mean, obviously, might have thought Gable might have been if we were going the illegitimate child route, but man, I didn't think they'd go that route again. Is it better than do you think it's a better route than Stephanie affair or something with her? Do you think this is a better route?
I mean, only time will tell. We don't know until this whole thing fleshes out. You know, we can debate about this until we're blue in the face now, but let's just wait and see. We'll wait and see where it goes.
The Hardy Boys make their entrance as they're set to take on the Revival. This was a very good tag match. Went about 14 minutes. I would probably say it's rare that we see two great matches in hour 3 of Raw, and so I'm kind of happy that they gave us two great matches at the end of hour 3, Matt. Did they with the news with that douche Ed Nordholm? Did it look like they dialed back the broken stuff a little bit, or did you think this was just a next step on that tour to becoming broken?
I feel like to break you have to go on a losing streak,
and they lost.
To me, yeah, and they lost. So
they didn't do any promos like the bomb that Jeff dropped.
No, and honestly, they don't need to speak at all right now. No. If they're knee deep in this point where they have to get this done, I think it would be better not to let them speak again until something more concrete is figured out.
And they're losing, so that's the best thing that can happen if we want the broken gimmick. So.
Yeah.
But they gave them 14 minutes, and again, here's proof that the Revival are a tag team of the future. They will probably be in the title picture before the end of the year, guaranteed. So good stuff from those guys. Charlie Caruso interviewed Samoa Joe backstage. Joe said he showed the world that he didn't fear Brock Lesnar and came within inches of beating him. Joe said Roman thinks Joe's some obstacle in his way, but Joe's a force of nature. And Joe said the first 2 times he faced Roman, he beat him. Third time is the charm. Joe has been, I've said this again, I've been saying this till I'm blue in the face, but ever since Joe became the number 1 contender, he has proven to me that he belongs in the main event picture. I wonder, Matt, because we said, Roman and Brock are probably coming into, the SummerSlam. Now all of a sudden it's a fatal 4-way. I'm kind of wondering if Joe's great performance at the top of the card kind of maybe changed some things around.
I surely hope so.
Maybe they put the title on Joe. I said that last week too. I go,
my dream scenario would be Joe pinning Brock or Joe pinning Reigns to win the title at SummerSlam.
Don't pin Strowman. No,
don't pin Strowman. And dude, I wouldn't even be sad if Strowman walked out the champ. And I really don't want Roman to leave with the title. But I would take Roman over Brock right now. I just want the title off of Lesnar.
Well, I agree. I agree with you too on that. I would take Roman. Well, I mean, you and I aren't Roman haters either, so We hate how he's booked sometimes, but we're not Roman haters. We think he's great in the ring. So, Table for Three aired after the Angle interview with the Nation of Domination members, Mark Henry, the Godfather, who was Kama back then, and Ron Simmons. Did you watch that one yet? I hadn't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it yet either.
They showed, obviously, when they're in Nashville, they show a shot of Tootsie's Bar. And then they went to Tozawa in the locker room with an ice pack on his shoulder. O'Neal said he did what he did to protect him. He doesn't want Tozawa to be injured because he's thinking Tozawa can be the next Cruiserweight champion. Tozawa leaves and says, I want a match with Daivari on 205 Live. And how about this, Matt? We're promoting next week's Raw on the current episode of Raw. How about that? 3 matches are announced.
Imagine that.
Rollins and Ambrose were talking, and Kurt Angle stepped in, and Angle said they could choose any 2 of the 3 of the Miztourage next week, and they both agreed, hey, why don't we just face all 3 of them in a 2-on-3 handicap match? Angle said, you got it. We got the Bailey Banks for the number 1 contendership and Balor Sampson in the no DQ match. So 3 matches where they pimped all 3 of those things together at the same time right before the main event. Smart. Keep doing that, WWE. Main event time, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe. These guys, no surprise, these guys have always brought it. It's rare that you get 2 solid long matches on the 3rd hour, and I'm glad they did it. This one went about 17 minutes before someone wasn't finished yet. Braun Strowman makes his return to the ring. Roman Reigns looking very shocked that Strowman was able to return after the murder attempt. We'll just call it. Matt, we saw this coming a mile away, but it didn't take away from the moment. I thought it was a great end to Raw.
Honestly, if it wouldn't have happened this way, I would have been disappointed.
Yeah.
Like even if it would have just been Brock and Joe in a rematch and Joe would have won, I would have been happy, but I would have been disappointed because I feel like Strowman deserves to be in this main event at SummerSlam. Joe and Roman both lost their matches at Great Balls of Fire, and they're competing to be the number 1 contender. And I'm like, but Strowman won his match, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know,
I think they were just playing it off with Angle had nothing else to do he could do because of the fact that he had no idea the status of Strowman because he just kind of wandered off without getting medical attention. That's, I guess, my way of covering for creative's ass here.
Yeah, but no, I'm looking forward to the potential Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
SummerSlam so far shaping up. It might be pretty dope, man. Like I don't want to jinx it or anything, but SummerSlam has the potential to be a pretty damn good show.
After the no contest, Strowman and Joe battled. Joe tried to get the Coquina clutch on Strowman. Roman hits the Superman punch on Strowman that knocks Braun into the turnbuckle, which of course Joe was on his back, so that kind of broke that up. The fans were going nuts, chanting "This is awesome" for it. Roman's charges at Strowman, but Strowman caught him with a spine buster. Clothesline on Joe, followed by the power slam, and then Strowman picks up Reigns and hits a running power slam on him as well. Strowman was going to beat down Reigns some more, but then security broke it up, and Strowman said "fuck you" and hit another running power slam and left. And that was Monday Night Raw. And now we go to SmackDown Live, the go-home show before Battleground. We are live for Birmingham, Alabama, for episode 934 of SmackDown Live. And we kick off the show with the Singh brothers introducing the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, as they lowered the Punjabi prison into the ring. And pretty interesting. I mean, Matt, 2005, I wasn't watching every WWE pay-per-view at that time, so I'd have never seen a Punjabi prison match.
How dare you?
So these this structure looked pretty damn cool.
You should go back and watch the one with Batista in it. Like, I can't remember which one that was.
Batista and Taker?
Yeah, I think it was Batista and Taker. Like, I think you should go back and watch that.
Big Show and Taker.
Is it Big Show Taker? And then it was Batista and Khali then?
Khali. Yeah, Batista and Khali.
Yeah, then watch that one. Watch the one with Batista in it. Okay. I thought that was I thought it was pretty damn entertaining.
Even with Khali in it?
Yeah, because I think Batista worked his ass off and made it work. You know, I definitely think you should go back and watch that. It's the beauty of having a network. So
yeah, I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that before Sunday. Yeah, the first one was Big Show and an Undertaker.
Yeah,
it was supposed to involve
Khali and Taker.
But Khali had
some kind of medical
kidneys.
emergency. Yeah, that they determined that they did not want him competing at that time. So it is what it is.
So I'm pretty excited to see this Punjabi prison match.
Yeah, I do think you should sit down and watch one first, so you know what to expect. And I would say Batista and Khali would be the one to watch.
And that was No Mercy 2007. The first one was 2005 with Taker and Big Show, and that was for the ECW Championship.
Dude, I don't fucking remember.
No, I just read that. That was Big Show fought Taker for the ECW Championship once. What?
Well, Big Show was the WWE ECW champion for.
Yeah, I knew Big Show was in the ECW.
So.
I knew he was in ECW because that was kind of they wanted to get some big star power into the WWE ECW. I didn't realize Taker was involved though. Obviously, they threw that in.
Yeah,
colleague.
Yeah, I don't think he was. Taker was never really involved with the ECW. I think that was just something that they threw. Like, I don't remember the storyline, to be perfectly honest. So I'm sure that was just something that was thrown together, you know, like last minute type deal. But I'm throwing on No Mercy 2007 on the network right now. I'm going to throw it up on my TV. I'm going to rewatch the Punjabi prison match at some point tonight as well. To compare the two matches on Sunday.
As I work on producing the show after we go off the air, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna fire up the network and put in 2007 No Mercy as well. The Singh brothers explained the rules of the match. There are 4 doors attended to around the ring by referees. Those doors will open for 60 seconds to allow competitors to get out. The outer structure is 20 foot high and has no door. You have to climb out. There are no rules, no countouts, no disqualifications. So, help me on this one, Matt. The competitor calls for the doors to be open.
Yeah. Well,
do all 4 doors open?
Only the door that they call to be open.
And that's on a clock for 60 seconds before the ref closes it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that the same as the other match they did?
I'm pretty sure it was. That's why, honestly, that's one of the main reasons I'm going back and rewatching. Mm-hmm. I want to see if they kept the rules the same. It's been so long since I've seen this match, dude. It seriously probably has been a decade since I've actually watched this. So it's going to
be interesting to see.
It's going to be kind of interesting to go back and watch this and see who wrestled at No Mercy 2007 and watch this all back.
Yeah, and all the backstory and all the backstory and all the segments leading up to that match and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a very interesting evening for me. Going back.
You're going to watch the whole.
Dude, I'm going to watch the whole fucking pay-per-view.
All right, I might do it with you.
Yeah, so I have no idea why.
We'll have to hit play at the same time.
Actually, it's already mine's already playing. So
you jackass. So Mahal and Orton cut their promos. What was impressive is Orton's cutting a heated promo 20 feet high in the air. Props to Orton for having the balls to do that. Very cool, though. I think it was a great idea to put the Punjabi prison in the arena to kick off SmackDown Live, to give those people a look at it, because it's been 10 years. So I think that was smart. I was thinking that was smart by the WWE.
And I think he gave their production crew a chance to set it up for the first time so they don't fuck it up on Sunday.
Exactly.
Because I'm questioning how many people from their production are still there from 2007.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta set that shit up all over again.
You might be surprised though. Those kind of guys might be ones that stick around for a long time.
You might be right. Like I don't know for sure. I mean, only time will tell.
Kofi Kingston, Jimmy Uso. I think they had a pretty decent match to further the feud for the tag titles. What'd you think of that match?
I was happy that
Jimmy won.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the Uso. I was happy
going by the old adage. Jimmy won, so New Day's going to win Sunday.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say I'm happy that the Uso won, but I felt that it was like the wrong thing to say, and I just said it anyway. So fuck it.
Because they're twins and they've been dealing with that all their life.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, when they won, I was like, oh yeah, New Day getting the titles on Sunday. Whereas if Kofi would have beat him clean, I'd have just been like, well, motherfucker, we ain't gonna get shit. You know, there ain't gonna be no title change on Sunday. But when Kofi got pinned, I get kind of hyped that we're gonna get some title changes on Sunday.
And Jimmy won clean, by the way. So
yeah,
that wasn't even dirty.
Yeah, like I expected him to pull the tights, but he didn't. I don't remember him pulling the tights. So
he won clean.
Just like it was like the rule, dude. That was like a WWE. That was like a WWE Superstars finish from the 1980s.
Yeah,
like you hardly ever see that finish anymore. But you used to see that all the time when I was growing up.
Yeah, Kofi was up top for the crossbody, and Jimmy floated over and covered him and got the 1-2-3. It appears that this is a weekly thing. Shane McMahon having a state of the women's division address. Is all the women that are competing in the 5-way elimination match are backstage with Shane. Everybody wants to fight each other. But Natty, being the heel that she is, suggested that Charlotte faces Becky tonight. And then Charlotte made a cocky remark about how she could beat Becky, and that said, all right, you guys are fighting later. So there you go. They showed the video package of Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan, and then Renee Young does a sit-down interview with Chad Gable. And Renee said, how'd you react to the news? And Chad's like, what? Just like he did on Twitter, basically. Yeah,
which is so ridiculous. Don't tell me for one fucking minute that you didn't know. Like I know it's storyline, but there ain't nobody on this earth that's gonna tell me that Chad Gable didn't know this was gonna happen. Like I know, but I'm just saying there was a clear reason why he was getting these singles matches on SmackDown lately, and Jason Jordan was really nowhere to be seen. You know, this was pretty damn evident.
Yeah. Kayfabe he didn't know. Real life he knew. So yeah, Renee asked him if Jason had mentioned anything, and Gable said no. Would have been nice to have some heads up. He said that Jason was acting weird for a while though, and Chad talked about how Jason called him after Raw, and he understood what Jason was going through. Chad said they accomplished a lot as a team, like winning the SmackDown Tag Team titles from Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, and said he's going to support Jason. Chad spoke about how he has some ideas for what's next, but I'm not going to share, and ended it with, this is a great chance for everybody to see Chad Gable on his own. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from there with Chad Gable. We finally get the in-ring debut of Mike Kanellis as he took on Sami Zayn. Just as Sami Zayn was getting the upper hand, Maria gets in the ring to protect her husband. That distraction enabled Mike to hit a punch and then a sit-out Samoan driver slam for the win after about 4 minutes. So Mike Kanellis gets the W in his debut. Probably the whole Maria thing will probably makes you think that they would push this to a match at Battleground, and I believe it was announced, right, Matt?
I didn't hear them officially announce the match.
It's on Wikipedia, so what's the source? Let's see what the source is. There's a source.
Wikipedia, watch out now.
Well, there's a source, though. Yes, WWE.com. A new match has been announced. Kathy Kelly has the scoop. Mike Kanellis will take on Sami Zayn. So that dropped today on the .com. Hey, Wikipedia has source, just like it has sources to the news, so it was legit. What do you think of Mike Kanellis' tights there?
Like I said on Twitter, it was like they took Rick Rude and Shawn Michaels' whole gear and threw it in a blender.
Oh, that big pink lips on his ass are a nice touch there. John Cena comes out at the top of the second hour. Gives his patriotic spiel since there's a flag match coming up. I don't know. Normally, I like these kind of promos from Cena, but it's just the fact. I don't know. I'm not I'm not behind this match with Rusev. So I wasn't really behind the promo of Cena's.
No, I didn't care for it at all.
And the fact that Rusev laid him out with the accolade,
it was total guarantee that.
Yeah, if WWE goes by their book here, then that means Cena's going to win.
Yeah.
Because Rusev laid him out. So I don't know. Just a stupid way to bring Rusev back in. AJ Styles in the locker room when Nakamura walks up to him, and the internet explodes. Styles asked if he wanted to talk strategy. Nakamura's like, no. But he was staring at that United States Championship and said, one day when Styles calls, Nakamura will answer. Oh, Matt. SummerSlam?
I surely wouldn't mind it.
Nakamura, AJ Styles? Oh, baby. Charlotte and Becky had a good 10-minute match. Maybe further cementing what we said last week, where we both predicted Charlotte's going to win. We'll see if that prediction still holds true when we get to that point here later in the show. But Becky Lynch makes Charlotte tap out after a decent 10-minute match. What did you think of the women's match here, Matt?
I thought it was the best thing on the show, honestly.
Yeah,
I thought they all did a really good job.
No, the best thing on the show was the Fashion X-Files.
Whatever.
But after the match, Charlotte and Becky shook hands, did their nice little tea time gesture. But then Lana and Tamina made their way to ringside, and as they're distracted by them coming down the ramp, Natalya, who was on commentary, attacks from behind. And Natalya throws Charlotte out of the ring. Tamina threw Lynch out of the ring. And then Natalya went after Tamina. Lana pulls Natalya off, yells some Russian at Natalya. And then Natalya walks into a super kick by Tamina. Makes you kind of wonder, Matt. Well, again, we're getting to predictions pretty soon. But makes you kind of wonder if them two working as a team leads to one of them two winning. But I don't know.
I don't know.
They interviewed Naomi backstage. Said she'll be there to congratulate the winner, even though she's not defending her title at Battleground. She's ready for the challenge and ready to feel the glow. That's when Carmella, as she has been doing the last couple weeks, showing up with her briefcase. And basically just to taunt Naomi. Next up, it's the Fashion X-Files. The truth is not H. Breeze wearing a Scully red wig was great. And Fandango, what do they call him? Moldango? What do they call Breeze?
I don't remember I don't remember, dude.
They were talking about aliens are among us, and they heard some weird noises coming backstage, and they opened the curtain. It was Aiden English practicing his voice. And Breeze said, "Oh, there's no ghosts." And then all of a sudden, a spotlight from above shined on them, and a delivery man had a package for them. He turned the light on and opened up the box, and it was the horse, the head of the horse that Fandango was riding last week. And the note said Battleground, and the graphic said to be concluded at Battleground. So, once again, great stuff from those guys, right, Matt?
They can do no wrong at this point. So.
Very curious to see if your idea of Harper and Rowan is that would make complete sense with the trashing of the office, ripping the head off of a stick horse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff Harper and Rowan would do. Though I wish Harper was in the more of a main event push because he deserves it. But they didn't. Then ran down who's going to appear on Talking Smack. Oh no, they didn't because they fucking canceled it.
A-holes.
Main event time. AJ Styles makes his entrance to a big pop. Nakamura makes his entrance to a big pop. Baron Corbin tried to attack him during his entrance like he's done before, but Nakamura was ready for it, ducks it, and starts the brawl on the ramp. Owens comes in to gang up on Nakamura with Corbin, and then AJ jumps in before they are separated, and then we have a match. At the end of the match, Styles hits an enziguri and a Pele kick on Corbin. Owens gets the tag, though, and Styles didn't see the tag. He's setting Corbin up for the Styles Clash. Owens hit a super kick, and then that stuns Styles and enables Owens to hit the pop-up powerbomb and get the pinfall in a 10-minute main event match. Good work there by those guys, as expected. I mean, with all four guys in the ring there. What did you think of the main event, Matt?
It was fine. Like it didn't blow me away or anything. Owens pinned AJ. You know, so
you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, probably. You would certainly think.
Yeah, I like my favorite part was the brawl on the ramp to start. I thought that was well done, and in the match itself was, you know, four good wrestlers doing what four good wrestlers do. So in the time that they got there for 10 minutes. So good stuff there. That sets us up for Battleground this Sunday on the WWE Network, and we got a pre-show match. Ty Dillinger, Aiden English. I hope to God this is Ty Dillinger getting a rebound win after losing to Jinder Mahal, Matt.
You would certainly think so.
But then Aiden English, you know, he took the fight to Randy Orton. Maybe they go that route. I don't know. But it's a pre-show match. Hype up the crowd. And who does the crowd love? They love Ty Dillinger. I think Ty Dillinger goes over here. The rematch from this week on SmackDown, Sami Zayn, Mike Kanellis. Matt, do you see Zayn going over here to set up a rubber match, or what do you think?
Bennett. Kanellis, whatever you want to call him. He won on SmackDown. I feel like Zayn has to win at the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think he needs to beat him twice in a row. Yeah, but I mean, they might. They might. I mean, I don't know.
Do you think this carries over into SummerSlam? Possibly one of the pre-show matches? The rubber match maybe on the SummerSlam pre-show?
I don't know.
They're doing the whole long 6-hour thing with SummerSlam, aren't they?
I don't know if the pre-show is 2 hours, but I know the initial card is 7 to 11.
4. Yeah. Okay. I've dug the feud so far. I think this could stretch out to SummerSlam, so I'm going to go Sami Zayn winning here. Set up a SummerSlam match. Probably it may be a pre-show because that card's going to be loaded as it is. So I'm going to go with that. Matt, and you agree?
Yeah.
With the result at least.
Yeah, I agree with the result.
This is probably obvious, but United States Championship, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens. Why would they take the title off of AJ when they're teasing us with such great U.S. Open challenges, Matt? It's going to be AJ Styles.
Yeah, there's no way Styles loses here.
How do you see Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin?
Nakamura wins. It's that simple.
They do like that.
It's just that simple.
They love to have their Money in the Bank briefcase win or lose a lot. So, Fatal 5-Way elimination match to determine the number one contender for Naomi's SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. We talked about this last week. Matt, are you still on the Charlotte?
Yeah, especially after tapping out to Becky. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I don't think we've disagreed yet. I don't think we're going to disagree here, unfortunately. Flag match, John Cena and Rusev.
LOL, Cena wins.
Yep. SmackDown Tag Team titles, New Day and Usos. I agree with you, Matt. I think it's been long enough that the New Day's been without a title. It's time for a change, and I am not a nugget.
Torque.
You agree with New Day as well, right?
Yes, I do.
And our main event, Punjabi Prison match for the WWE Championship, Jinder Mahal against Randy Orton. Matt, what do you see in the main event at Battleground?
You got to think Mahal wins, right? I don't know.
I think
this is like the only match, I guess, that's kind of up for debate. Like everything else really seems cut and dry.
I think they're going to India in September, so I think they're going to keep the title on Mahal. I could see Orton winning and Corbin cashing, but
it'd be really hard to do it with the Punjabi Prison to do that.
Well, yeah, because the outside has no doors.
Yeah, you have to climb over.
Unless they have it rigged to where they could lift it up quick. Yeah. I think it's going to be a hell of a match, though. It'll probably be the best Punjabi Prison match in WWE history. And,
wow, you're really trying to set that bar there.
I am. Matt, have we ever agreed fully on an entire card for a pay-per-view?
No, it's kind of scary.
That is scary. Well, hopefully we're wrong, because we always like to be wrong, because surprises are always fun. Wink, wink, flag match. Wink, wink. Have Rusev win. Let's watch John.
I don't believe for 1
John
second
Cena.
that's going to happen.
Let's watch John Cena fail his country. Yeah, I don't believe it either. But there you go. That's going to do it for Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you Monday with our review of Battleground. And thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you do a search for Lost in the Midcard, and that way you can hit the subscribe button and know every time a new episode comes your way, most Thursdays and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube, and the links to all of our subscriptions are in the notes section of our Facebook page. Go like our Facebook page as well, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Also, we are on the Twitter, where we share a lot of tweets in the wrestling world. Lots of entertaining stuff is said by said wrestlers in the wrestling world. So you can check out those retweets and much more on @LITMC Podcast. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw of Showtime. I am on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we head off into the sunset, look forward to Sunday. Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I hope the pay-per-view is good.
And fuck you for taking away Talking Smack.
Yes, that is. I think that goes without saying.
That's my final thought. For Matt Black, Jeremy Bennett here. Thank you for tuning into Lost to the Midcard. We'll be back at you Monday for our Battleground reaction.